The galaxy had long believed humanity was a minor power tucked away in a quiet corner of the spiral arm. Their home world, blue and green and full of storms, was labeled as developing, a polite way of saying irrelevant. For centuries, humans traded small goods, sent small ships, and avoided interstellar politics. Most empires barely remembered their name. Yet all of that changed the day one fleet entered the war zone. For a decade, the Dominion controlled the outer rim. Worlds surrendered at the mere sight of their dreadnoughts. The Dominion fleets were vast, each carrying 1,000 warships armed with weapons that could melt continents. They ruled with fear, crushing every rebellion before it began. No one dared to oppose them until a human distress signal echoed through subspace from a colony near the fringe. The Dominion ignored it, confident it was another insignificant race pleading for mercy. But the humans did not beg. They sent a single transmission, short and cold. "Do not harm our people." The message was simple. The Dominion laughed. They bombarded the colony anyway. And that was the moment the galaxy shifted. 3 weeks later, sensors across the sector screamed warnings. An unknown fleet had entered the border system. It was not large compared to the Dominion's armadas. Only 50 ships. Yet each vessel was massive, built in dark alloys that reflected no light. The lead ship carried the emblem of Earth, a simple blue sphere encircled by white stars. The Dominion command dismissed them as fools. When the humans spoke again, their tone had not changed. "Leave our colony." Then the battle began. The first volley from the human ships erased 2 Dominion cruisers before the enemy could even respond. Their weapons bent space itself, delivering energy pulses that sliced through shields like paper. Dominion admirals shouted orders, forming attack formations, but it was already too late. The human fleet moved with precision no one had seen before. Every shot struck vital systems. Every maneuver predicted the enemy's move seconds before it happened. Within 1 hour, the Dominion's front line was gone. Within 3 hours, the entire sector command was silent. The surviving Dominion officers fled, terrified. Reports reached the capital, claiming that a single human fleet had destroyed the equivalent of 6 full battle groups. The High Command refused to believe it. They said it was propaganda. Then they received footage from their own satellites, images of burning ships and a human fleet cruising through the wreckage without slowing. Across the galaxy, watchers took notice. For generations, the Council of Empires had dismissed humanity as a background species. Now they gathered in emergency meetings, whispering about the power of the Terran fleet. "It must be stolen technology," some said. "Impossible," others replied. But as more reports came, disbelief turned to fear. The Dominion sent reinforcements, this time 2,000 ships strong. They expected to crush the humans through sheer numbers. The human fleet met them near the dark nebula of Kalos Prime. Every scanner in range recorded what happened next. When the Dominion fleet jumped in, the humans did not retreat. They stood their ground. The battle lasted 16 minutes. When it ended, the nebula was silent. The Dominion armada was gone. 50 human ships remained, still intact, their hulls glowing faintly as if the battle had barely touched them. Galactic news channels played the footage on endless loops. "One fleet," they repeated. "One fleet was enough to alarm them." The Dominion, shaken to its core, declared martial law. But humanity had only begun. Back on Earth, command centers filled with quiet determination. The Council of Nations, once divided by politics, now spoke with a single voice. Their decision was clear. If the galaxy wanted to test humanity, then humanity would answer completely. 10 more fleets prepared for launch. Each fleet carried advanced hybrid technology combining human engineering and artificial quantum intelligence. Their engines could fold through subspace without leaving trails. Their weapons were powered by antimatter fusion cores stabilized through gravitational control. But what truly set them apart was not the machines. It was the people inside. Human crews came from every background. Farmers turned pilots, miners turned engineers, scientists who once studied stars now commanding ships that could silence them. They fought not for conquest but for survival and respect. Every human carried the memory of Earth, the small planet that everyone once ignored. They called themselves the Guardians of Sol. When the second wave launched, the galaxy trembled. 10 human fleets, each stronger than the first, emerged from hidden gates spread across systems no one knew existed. The Dominion tried to negotiate, but their past crimes left no room for mercy. The human response was calm, as always. You had your chance. The invasion began. The 10 fleets advanced with perfect synchronization. Each fleet commander acted like a note in one grand symphony of war. They did not chase glory or chaos. They fought with logic, precision, and relentless discipline. Dominion strongholds that had stood for centuries fell within days. Planetary shields failed before human energy lances. Defense grids turned silent as cyberwar programs infiltrated their cores. Dominion soldiers surrendered in disbelief, expecting cruelty. Instead, they received food and medical aid. Humanity was fierce, but it was never cruel. That shocked the galaxy more than the victories. Other empires began sending observers to study this strange species. The reports were unanimous. Humanity fought like machines but treated life like a sacred promise. They rebuilt what they destroyed. They repaired the systems of conquered worlds and returned them better than before. Even captured Dominion civilians whispered that humans were terrifying in war, yet merciful in peace. In the 3rd month, the Dominion capital itself was surrounded. 10 fleets formed a ring of steel and light around the planet. Every Dominion ship that tried to escape was disabled, not destroyed. The Dominion Emperor finally transmitted a plea for talks. Humanity accepted. The meeting took place aboard the lead human flagship, a vessel so large that it dwarfed the Dominion's palace ships. The human commander was not tall, not imposing, but every step carried quiet authority. When he spoke, his words echoed across the hall. You brought fire to our people. We answered in kind. Now we bring peace. Do not mistake it for weakness. The Dominion Emperor lowered his head. We understand, he said. And for the first time in history, the Dominion surrendered unconditionally. The news spread faster than light. Worlds that had suffered under the Dominion's rule began cheering in the streets. Human relief ships arrived days later, bringing medicine, food, and engineers to rebuild what the wars had broken. For the first time in living memory, peace followed victory. Yet not everyone celebrated. Far away in the heart of the Council of Empires, rulers watched with unease. They had expected humanity to fight, perhaps even to win a few battles. But 10 fleets that could erase empires within months, this was something no one had predicted. The Council held an emergency assembly to discuss the human question. Some demanded that humanity be limited. Others argued that cooperation was wiser than fear. In the end, they chose caution. They invited Earth to join the Galactic Council as an equal power. The invitation was accepted, though humanity sent only a single representative. The message was clear: they came not to serve but to stand beside. Years passed. The Dominion became a memory, its former territories now rebuilt under shared administration. The human fleets did not dissolve. They remained silent guardians of peace. Some called them the Iron Wall, others the Silent Promise. Every ship carried the same emblem, Earth's sphere encircled by white stars. Every ship carried the same motto: we do not start wars, but we finish them. Across the stars, children grew up learning about the day the humans rose. In academies, alien cadets studied human tactics as part of their curriculum. In council halls, diplomats measured their words carefully when addressing Terrans. The galaxy had a new balance, born not from fear but from undeniable respect. One evening, on a station orbiting a neutral world, a group of young officers from different species gathered around a viewport. They gazed at the distant glow of a Terran battleship patrolling the outer rim. Its engines shimmered like a quiet storm. One of them whispered, "Do you think they'll ever use their full power again?" Another replied, "Only if someone's foolish enough to make them." They fell silent, understanding that the galaxy had changed forever. Back on Earth, in a quiet valley where the sky was clear, a small memorial stood. It bore no names, only an inscription: "We fought not to conquer, but to be understood." Pilots visited it before joining the fleets. Children visited it on school trips. It reminded everyone of where it all began, with a single message, a single fleet, and a promise kept. Decades later, rumors spread again. Deep sensors detected movement beyond the galactic rim, unknown signatures larger than any known civilization could build. Panic began to grow, but before it could spread, Earth Command transmitted a simple message to the galaxy: "We are aware. We are prepared." Within hours, the 10 fleets that had once ended the Dominion began to move again, forming up like an ancient storm reawakening. Other species scrambled to assist, offering ships and soldiers. Humanity accepted the offers with gratitude, but their commanders smiled faintly. They had trained for this moment. The galaxy watched as the Terran fleets disappeared into the void, leaving behind a silence heavy with memory. We,